All right, everybody. So we are doing a reteach of the how to do the interactive readers, and to make sure that you guys stay on pace with the videos, we are giving this to you on paper instead of submitting it out through iLit. That way we can make sure that y'all are staying in pace with the videos, and you're not going to be like skipping ahead and getting something wrong. Because there were quite a few people that were starting to get to those passing grades, but the majority of you guys still were just so close. So you just need to get a little bit more insight into how to get those few extra points so that you can start getting passing grades on the interactive readers. Okay, so for this first video, we are at page 1. We're going to go over the first 4 slides of the interactive reader, the first half. Those of you that remember, and I'll have the digital side up as well so you can see that, see what it looks like on there, just so you can see, you know, what's going on, okay? Let me zoom this in. It's not going to let me zoom in. It's not going to let me zoom in. It's okay. So this down then. There we go. All right. Get the thing a little bit closer. So for the first page right here, we have the first 2 slides, and then you have this question down here. Now, those of you that remember the digital, well, let me pull it up here. The digital one, okay, so this would be slide 1 or screen 1, okay? And then you would read that in its entirety. It's a little bit big, so you scroll down, and then you go to the next screen, and then you have a reading checkpoint. Obviously, you're going to be, you know, reading the text on here before you can do that reading checkpoint. So that is what is represented here, okay? It's the first 2 screens plus the reading checkpoint. Now, the reading checkpoints are graded. Okay, they do count for the grade. Each reading checkpoint is 4 points. All right, so the total interactive reader is 36. Okay, so that's 36 points. 36 points, all right? This is 4 of them, all right? So if you do not get this correct, it's going to keep helping you until you get it correct, until eventually it's going to give you the answer, and then you do not get these points, okay? So please make sure that whenever you come up on these reading checkpoints that you are trying to get these correct, all right? So the reading checkpoint is highlight the sentence that explains what Cook did instead of becoming the commander of a ship. Okay. So we need to basically look for key phrases, okay? So we've already read the text, all right? You've already read these 2 pieces of text. So now you're looking for, you know, what he did instead of, you know, keywords that mean that, in lieu of, despite wanting to do something, instead, you know, he did this. Something like that. So if we come back up here, we're looking through, and then each of these things is on this second screen. So you're going to be looking at this screen. All right. So the reading checkpoints go with you know, every other screen. So you're looking for that. So if I skim through here, and I'm looking, oh wait, here's this phrase. It says, but instead of accepting the offer. Okay, well, what offer? So I need to go back a little bit. So I'm going to start back here. It says, as time passed, Cook took on more and more responsibility on the ship. Finally, in 1755, Walker offered Cook command of a ship. But instead of accepting the offer, okay, so the offer is Cook's command of the ship. All right, so there's my sentence then, okay? It says highlight the whole sentence. So on this paper, you're going to take a highlighter or a marker or something, and you are going to highlight this sentence. Cook went off to become a regular seaman in the Navy. Okay, so that is the answer here. So now what does that look like on the digital side? All right. Let the contrast get back where it was. Okay. So here's the digital side. So you're not always going to have this paper copy. So basically you're going to do the same thing here. You have to, look for the keywords. You scroll through, and then, you find it. You don't find it at the end. You're going to find it in the middle this time. So for this, you have to tap the highlighter, okay, to activate it, and then you tap the sentence, okay? Some of you guys are trying to actually highlight. You don't have to do that on here, okay? You just you activate the highlighter, and then you tap the sentence that you're wanting to highlight, and then you hit save and continue, and you're good, okay? Going on to the next reading checkpoint. Okay, so here is slide or screen 3. We read through. Okay, and if you need to pause the video so that you can read each screen as we come by, please do that. Okay, you do not have to keep on pace with me. Obviously, I've already read this text a few dozen times to get to this video. So I'm going a little bit faster, but if this is your first read through on this, obviously if you have to pause the video in order to catch up so that you're reading through the text and you understand what the text is, please go ahead and pause the video. It's fine. All right, and then we have, sometimes it messes up like that. I don't know why, but okay, there we go. It fixed itself. So we have the second screen or the second checkpoint. So we're going to come back here to our paper. We'll flip it over. All right, and again, you are going to have this. You're not going to have the digital copy of this. You have this paper copy, so you're just going to be able to read. You don't have to worry about scrolling. And since you have a paper copy, if it helps you to make little notes to the side, about what the main idea of each paragraph is, please go ahead and do that, because that'll be important later. All right, so our second reading checkpoint is a fill in the blank. Well, I call it a fill in the blank here. On the digital side, it's one of those drag and drop the words. Okay. When you drag and drop the word, it says drag word here, okay? You put it in this box. You're not going to try to drag it over to this blank space and put it in the blank, although that would make the most sense, but I didn't create the program, okay? So whenever you choose the word that's going to go here, you have to make sure you are dragging it to the box, okay? So coming back over here, remember it's going to be on this slide or this screen where you're going to find the answer to the question. So it says, scientists believe that charting the path of Venus could help them figure out distances between what? Okay, so again, we have to skim through this. Under the, I've read this, so I'm going to be skimming through it. But if you haven't read it yet, then take this time to, read the text so you know what's going on. Coming through, okay, so here it's talking about Venus. So if I come back a little bit, scientists wanted someone to observe and chart the planet Venus as it passed in front of the sun. Okay, so if I think of that, I think of an eclipse. All right, so an eclipse, it's going to eclipse the sun. Okay, says they believe that if this were done from several locations, it might be possible to figure out distances between planets. All right, so that kind of has this key words here in two separate sentences. So basically we have figure out distances between, and that's what we have here. It says figure out distances between planets. Okay, and so then you write planets down here. All right, So what does that look like on the digital side? All right, so we know from here it's in that top paragraph, so that's what I'm going to look for. Okay, so I have planets selected. Okay, I don't know if you were able to see that I had it. Here, I have my little stylus so you can see. Oh, is it gonna? Yep, okay. So I have it right here, it's dragging, and then I drag it over to the box. All right, hit save and continue, and it tells me well done. All right, so now this is as far as we're getting for today. The other thing that I want you guys to do today, you'll have this yellow paper for you to do the reading checkpoints, and then we need to start thinking about that summary. All right, so because that summary is another 4 points. All right. Anything that's graded by the program on the interactive reader is 4 points. All right. So right now, you have 8 points. 8 points out of your total 36. And then thinking about that summary, that's another 4 points. So that's the 12 points. That's a third of the points. All right. So since we're already this far in, we can go ahead and start getting ideas down for this summary. All right. So when we come in here, looking at the summary organizer, you have 8 boxes. It says screen 1, screen 2, screen all, it numbers them out. That's why on here I put, well, it said slide, but it's the same thing. So, so it numbers which screen goes with what box. All right. And if you have to cover up the box so that you're, focused on one, by all means, do what you need to do. All right. So now for this first box, some of you guys write really, really tiny and can do complete sentences in this little bitty box. Perfect. Fabulous. Go for it. Some of you write, humongous like I do, and you're not going to be able to fit a complete sentence in here sometimes. That is fine. If you need to use this box for notes, then use the box for notes. All right, make it, don't make complete sentences, or don't make, make fragment sentences that you're going to go back and change. Okay, for example, there's 2 paragraphs here, so I need to pick out a main idea for this paragraph and a main idea for this paragraph so that I can combine them later into one sentence or make 2 sentences. So I'm going to have a bullet point here for my first paragraph. So what is this first paragraph about? It says, some people are born for a life of adventure. James Cook was one of them. He explored and mapped more of the world than anyone else before him or since his time. But long before he became an explorer, he was just a boy with a love of learning. Okay, so what is this about? It's about how James Cook was a famous explorer who started off as a pretty curious kid. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to say. My handwriting is horrible. James Cook was a curious kid that grew into a famous explorer. All right, and even that, it's like big handwriting. So whenever I go to make my main idea for my second paragraph, I'm going to have to condense it down even more probably. All right, but that's what you guys can do. I mean, you don't have to make complete sentences here. You can just make these boxes as notes. And if you need to, line off the margins of the paper and use the extra space. Use as much space as you need to use. Okay? Quadrant it off. Do whatever you need to do in order to make your notes for your summary. All right? So for today's assignment, for the interactive reader, you are doing these 4 reading checkpoints, or these 2 reading checkpoints for these 4 screens. And then you are going to get these first 4 boxes, put a main idea in it. You'll take a picture of these and you'll submit them to the Schoology link that will be provided for you. There's going to be one for the reading checkpoints, and then there's going to be one for the summary graphic organizer, okay? And then that's going to be, the first piece, and then we will move on to the next 4 boxes, and then we will go to the summary, and then we will do the critical response. And with each piece, I will make sure to let you know how many points we've taken care of at that point, okay? Hope y'all do well. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with after this.